Cirincione, he's a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, also president of the Ploughshares Fund. Nice to see you.
My pleasure, Kate.
Given what we heard him say on the campaign trail, I mean, those are sharp words, sharp language that he used then. Now he has to sit down face to face with the president of China. How much can he actually get done at this summit?
Well, you can get done a lot depending on what the president's position is. If he thinks he's going to outsource the North Korean problem to China, that's an illusion. There are not enough tools in the U.S. toolbox to pressure China into pressuring North Korea to the point where the North Korean regime complies or collapses. China's never going to do that. But if you want to partner with China, you can convince them, yes, to increase sanctions, yes, to increase pressure, as long as the U.S. is willing to do what China wants, which is to sit down and negotiate with North Korea. There's a deal here to be made if the president is willing to do it.
I was just handed in the commercial break a new statement out of the UN Security Council. They just voted to condemn the ballistic missile launch that just happened in North Korea. They say they strongly condemn the most recent ballistic missile launch conducted by the Democratic People's Republic of Korea on 4 April. And they say, please refrain. Well, they don't say please. They say refrain. North Korea must refrain from further actions in violation of the relevant Security Council resolutions. Is the UN going to be helpful in combating North Korea, or is this just one more resolution? I mean, how many times now have they tested a ballistic missile?
Well, remember, what you have when the UN makes that means you have China making that statement. You have Russia making that statement. So you have North Korea's closest allies doing this. The UN resolutions are extremely important diplomatic statements. They give the other countries space to take other actions, like sanctions. So yes, this is not just empty talk. It's important. And here's what it's underlying. As if North Korea continues its program, if it continues this progress, we're looking at a very likely prospect in a couple of years that North Korea will have a long-range ballistic missile, an ICBM, with a nuclear warhead on it that can hit the United States. The failed policies of the last 10 years, both President Bush and President Obama, failed to stop them. So it's up to President Trump to make the deal that can freeze North Korea's program, stop it short of getting a hydrogen bomb, short of a missile that can hit the United States.
The president, when he was a businessman, used to do all kinds of deals in China. He used to make products in China. Now he's talking about trade and trying to stop currency manipulation. How far can he get on that front, do you think?
Well, he can get very far. You may have seen the news stories talking about Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, who has done business deals with China, who was negotiating with Chinese firms actually to invest in some of his properties in New York. There's a lot the Chinese can do, and I expect they're bringing some of those carrots to the bargaining table. We are intimately involved in the Chinese economy and the Chinese in ours. So you don't want to get into a trade war, disrupt that lucrative trade for both sides that could roil global markets. And you can do this while also conducting diplomatic business with China. This is probably the most important 24 hours in the young presidency of Donald Trump.
Joe Cirincione, nice to have you.